Hello my friends and family, guess what? This is a story of Pope Benjamin's sister who met a very rich man, promised to do anything for her only if she's agreed to marry him. Then Pope Benjamin's sister now gave the condition, and what is the condition you will find out after the whole story titled, How Pope Benjamin's Sister Met a Rich Man Who Promised Everything. The evening was alive with music and chatter. Pope Benjamin's sister walked through the grand hall, her posture graceful, her eyes scanning the crowd. She had attended hundreds of events, but something about this one felt different. People whispered about a man who had arrived quietly, yet somehow, his presence dominated the room. She noticed him immediately. A tall man in a dark tailored suit stood by the drinks table, holding a glass of wine. His confidence was evident in the way he spoke, the way he smiled, the way he carried himself. When their eyes met, something unspoken passed between them. He approached her, extending his hand. "I'm Michael," he said, voice smooth, almost musical. "I've heard a lot about you." She raised an eyebrow. "Oh really? From whom?" He smiled faintly, glancing around as if the crowd itself whispered his words. People talk when someone remarkable enters their lives. She smiled politely, intrigued but cautious. There was something about him, something that made her instinctively aware that this encounter was going to change everything. They spoke for hours, about trivial things, about serious things, about ambitions, about dreams. At the end of the night, he extended an invitation. "I would like to see you again. Just the two of us," he said. She hesitated, then nodded. "All right. But I want to make sure we understand each other." He looked curious. Understand each other in what way? She did not answer immediately. She wanted to see if he would respect her boundaries. A week later, she arrived at the upscale restaurant he had chosen. The private room was dimly lit, the scent of expensive flowers in the air. Michael greeted her with a small bow and offered her the seat by the window. "I have something to tell you," he began, after a few minutes of small talk. "I am not here to waste time. I have built a life that many dream of. Houses, cars, businesses. I can offer you all of this, and more, if you agree to marry me." She felt her pulse quicken, but she maintained her composure. "That is a bold statement. What do you want from me in return?" He leaned back, studied her face, and said, "Your trust, your companionship, your decision to marry me." She paused. The offer was tempting, impossible to ignore, but she knew life had lessons in charm and promises. She could not be swept away by wealth alone. "I would consider it," she said carefully, "but there must be conditions, terms that ensure honesty and integrity." He raised an eyebrow. "Conditions? Yes. If I am to give my hand in marriage, I must be sure of your intentions. You must demonstrate that you value me for more than appearances, more than status, more than wealth." He studied her quietly, then nodded slowly. "Very well. Tell me your conditions." Pope Benjamin's sister set her terms carefully. They were not unreasonable, but they were a challenge for any man. She would observe, question, and test him. Every action, every word, every gesture mattered. Michael smiled, a spark of challenge in his eyes. "I accept your conditions. I will prove myself worthy of your trust." Weeks passed. He called, sent gifts, arranged meetings. She watched closely. Every time he tried to charm her, she reminded herself of the importance of boundaries. She spoke to friends and family, asking for advice, listening to their warnings. The suspense grew. Michael's wealth and charm were undeniable, but she needed to know his character. She devised a private test. She would set clear limits and watch how he reacted. Would he respect her, or would he cross them? One evening, he invited her to a private weekend retreat in a luxury villa outside the city. The invitation made her nervous. It was a step further than anything they had done before. She accepted but prepared herself. She set rules in her mind, boundaries he must respect. The weekend arrived. The villa was breathtaking. Marble floors, expansive gardens, and views of the lake. Everything spoke of wealth. Everything screamed temptation. Michael was attentive, generous, and charming. Yet, she remained vigilant. Every gesture, every word, every touch was measured. He tried to engage her in long conversations, exploring her dreams, fears, and thoughts. He tried to impress her, but she was alert, always questioning his true intentions. By the end of the retreat, Pope Benjamin's sister had learned much about Michael. He was different from the men she had known. His generosity was genuine. His patience was real. He had not pushed boundaries, not once, despite opportunities to do so. The suspense was overwhelming. She realized the importance of testing intentions, of holding her ground. She understood that wealth alone could not determine trustworthiness. Perfect. We'll continue the story, keeping the suspense, tension, and drama building while expanding dialogue, thoughts, and narration. I'll take it chapter by chapter to maintain clarity and flow. The villa was quiet as the sun set over the lake. Pope Benjamin's sister sat on the balcony, the gentle wind brushing her face. Michael stood nearby, offering a glass of wine. He had been patient all weekend, never pressing her, never overstepping. She turned to him. "Michael, I need to speak plainly." He nodded. "I am listening. I have watched your actions, your gestures, your patience. You have shown respect. You have shown care. But words alone are not enough. I must know that you value me as a person, not as a trophy or status symbol." Michael set his glass down and walked closer. "I do value you. I have admired you since the day I first saw you. Not for what you have, not for how you look, but for who you are." Her heart skipped a beat, but she did not let it show. She continued, "I will agree to marry you, but only under conditions of trust and respect. I will not compromise my dignity or my principles." He smiled faintly. "I understand, and I agree to these terms." For the first time in weeks, a sense of relief washed over her. The tension of uncertainty, the fear of deception, the constant vigilance, it had all led to this moment. Yet, even in relief, she knew the journey was not over. Wealth and charm could attract, but sustaining a relationship required honesty, commitment, and character. Returning to the city, life did not become simpler. Gossip spread, friends whispered, and family watched closely. Some admired her courage, others warned her of danger. She observed Michael closely. Every gesture mattered. Did he speak kindly to waiters? Did he respect women in public spaces? Did he keep promises made in private? Every test she devised revealed more about him. His actions aligned with his words. He was consistent, patient, and thoughtful. One evening, they attended a charity gala. A woman from his past approached him, seeking attention and praise. Michael handled the encounter with grace, acknowledging her politely but keeping boundaries clear. She watched silently, impressed. Respect, she realized, could not be taught, it could only be shown. Despite his integrity, questions lingered in her mind. Was his wealth genuine, or a facade? Was his interest temporary, or could it withstand life's pressures? She arranged small tests, invitations to casual events, situations requiring patience, and moments requiring honesty. Each time, Michael passed. But one evening, she received a tip. Someone claimed he had been involved in shady business dealings. Her trust wavered. She confronted him privately. "I heard rumors," she said, voice calm but firm. "Are they true?" Michael looked surprised but steady. "I have built my wealth through hard work and legitimate business. Some stories may exaggerate, but nothing illegal has ever been done." She studied his face. The sincerity in his eyes was evident. Yet, caution remained. She realized that wealth and reputation could attract false stories, but character would shine through scrutiny. Months passed. Their relationship deepened. The house he promised was now ready, the car purchased, but these material things no longer mattered as much. She had learned patience, observation, and discernment. Michael proposed privately, under the stars on a quiet evening. "I want to spend my life with you," he said. "Not for appearances, not for status, but because I respect and value you." She hesitated, remembering all she had observed. Then, slowly, she nodded. "I believe you. I trust you. But our marriage will be built on equality, respect, and integrity." He smiled, taking her hand. "Agreed. Nothing else matters." The suspense that had defined their relationship melted into relief. She realized that tests, patience, and observation were worth every moment of tension. Friends and family were astonished at the union. Many had doubted, many had warned, yet the result was undeniable. Pope Benjamin's sister had not only secured a wealthy partner but had ensured the foundation of respect and trust. She shared the lessons with her friends: always observe actions, not just words. Set boundaries early and enforce them. Wealth may attract attention, but character earns loyalty. Tests are not cruel, they are protective. Michael, now her fiancé, showed that wealth and respect could coexist. He had proven patience, honesty, and integrity. The story of Pope Benjamin's sister became a guide for many, showing that true wealth is not measured by money but by character, respect, and trustworthiness. Kindly like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more episodes.